The worst organization in the world, the WHO, declares the Ebola outbreak in the Dominican Republic.
You know how many times I was referencing Ebola when the hantavirus thing was going around? Multiple times. And now it's like I spoke this into fruition. The first Ebola outbreak, they scared the living daylights out of us. They told us it was 70-80% mortality rate for sure. There's no vaccine, there's no cure. You gotta let it run its course. You either die or you don't.
Our president, Mr. Donald J. Trump, did 3,642 stock trades since getting into office, guys. That is insane. 60 trades a day on average. The amount in the dollar value amount is so drastic that they still don't have the exact numbers, but the range is from $220 million to $750 million, guys. Welcome back to another episode of The Market Take, breaking down what's happening around the world in the markets and in crypto.
And if you like being informed about this kind of stuff, please consider subscribing to our channel. And if you do watch our content and you're not sure if you're subscribed, please double check. A lot goes into making these videos and we get super motivated when we see that people are interested. So yeah, thank you.
Welcome back to another episode of The Market Take. The date is May 18th. We are flying through the year. My goodness, almost halfway through.
Before we get into it, we got something big to talk about. What's coming up?
We do have something big to talk about, guys. Battle of the Bulls, guys. It's going to be the ultimate live trading championship, guys. Ultimate blood sport of crypto, okay? When is it? It's June 6th, guys. It's going to be at the Assembly at the Uncommons. A lot of the stock long community is going to be competing in this tournament, guys. It's going to be a completely free event to attend. If you want to trade and apply, we have a few more slots open. It is completely free to apply. It is completely free to trade. The lowest P&L gets eliminated every single round, and first place gets $5,000. And guess what? It's going to be a battle of skill and luck because each round is only 20 minutes, so you are going to be pushed to your limits and pushed something. We can edit this real.
Now, with that being said, you guys don't have to compete. It's a complete free event to attend. It's going to be an excellent networking opportunity. There's going to be an open bar, free gourmet food all night long, right? Am I correct on that?
Yep.
And why don't you tell them who's sponsoring us?
Guys, so we are... Damn. Stock Unlocked is sponsoring the event. Lucra is sponsoring the event. Apex is sponsoring the event. And so is Telson Tequila, guys. So it's going to be a lot of tequila. All Stock Unlocked members. You know, I'm not going to spoil it, but you guys are getting VVIP passes. There's going to be a lot of cool stuff for as soon as you guys walk into the event. So make sure you guys RSVP. If you're watching this on social media, the RSVPs will be in our bio. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link will be in the description of the video.
We hope to see you there. All right, let's get into the news now, huh?
6 p.m. I'm sorry, guys. 7 p.m. Pacific time. Everybody, 7 p.m. Pacific time, June 6th. Oh, and then how did I forget? Sunday. Don't think you're going home because Sunday, Justin has got us a cabana at the hottest day club in Las Vegas. We're going to pop off some champagne. We're going to eat some food and we're going to drink. Well, I'm not going to drink because I'm still on 75 hard, but you guys are all going to black out and I'm going to be sober for once.
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, guys, just to recap, Battle of the Bulls live trading tournament / championship, June 6th at 6 p.m. Right? 6 p.m. Las Vegas, Nevada at the Assembly in the Uncommons Plaza. Okay? Completely free to attend, completely free to compete. We fund your account 10 teams will be competing elimination style. Lowest P&L each round gets eliminated. First place gets $5,000. And if you just want to come hang out and vibe, enjoy the open bar, the free food, the free delicious food, I might quite add, you're more than welcome to do so. It's going to be an excellent networking opportunity. I promise you that. Again, thank you to our sponsors, Lucra, obviously Lucra, and Apex and Telson Tequila. Make sure you RSVP again. Once again, the bio is going to be in our profile, so make sure you click on the bio and click the link in the bio.
It's okay, we can edit shit.
And then if you're watching this on YouTube, the link will be in the description to RSVP. All right, let's get to some news, Arthur. Let's go.
All right, guys. You don't need alcohol when you can have a healthy diet of that stuff. So, guys, the worst organization in the world, the WHO, declares the Ebola outbreak in the Dominican Republic.
This is so crazy, dude.
I thought it was hantavirus. Now it's Ebola.
Bro, you know how many times I was referencing Ebola when the hantavirus thing was going around?
Multiple times.
And now it's like I spoke this into fruition. Is that kind of weird and creepy? Might be. But yeah, now, like Arthur was saying, there is another Ebola outbreak. Guys, if you don't remember, the first Ebola outbreak, they scared the living daylights out of us. They told us it was 70-80% mortality rate for sure. There's no vaccine. There's no cure. You got to let it run its course. You either die or you don't.
Crazy.
But yeah, around at least 80 to 100 deaths reported already with this Ebola outbreak. The outbreak is mainly in the Democratic Republic of Congo in Africa, and then it started to spread to Uganda. Now there is 6 Americans that got infected. Not infected. Were in contact, and one of them is symptomatic, meaning they actually contracted the disease. The CDC and international teams are mobilizing and doing a lot of contact tracing. See, who's patient 0. Where it came from. But that's what's going on right now. And man, I just remember when the first Ebola outbreak came about, man, I personally, dude, the way that they made it sound.
You were a nutcase.
Bro.
Hand sanitizing, the hand sanitizer.
The hand sanitizing, not going near anyone, like literally near anybody. Like I was staying like at least like, I don't know, 20, 30 feet away from people. And because dude, weird. They made it seem like you were going to get like the infection.
So weird because you raw dog everything.
Oh, yo. I know, that's sick. It's sick of me. But like, guys, dude, they made it seem like when you get infected, you're going to turn into a zombie from 28 days later. Your eyes are bleeding. They literally said your eyes were going to bleed. You're going to throw up blood all the time. I was like, Jesus Christ. But yeah, that's what's going on right now with that. So be mindful of that.
Justin's like the biggest germaphobe ever, guys. It's crazy.
I'm the biggest germaphobe.
But I won't repeat what else I said.
I'll just say, I raw dog everything. But like, whatever.
Yeah, that's weird to like need to hand sanitizer somebody's foot before you touch it, but if you're gonna poke it, it's all good. Anyway, guys, so let's get back into this market take. I think me and Fody are tired, and we just needed some laughs.
It was a long EDC weekend, man. Just
fried. So guys, Iran war update. When is this thing gonna end? We are 11 weeks into this conflict, and guess what? The ceasefire deal is literally on life support. Trump's actual words. This thing is on massive life support, and this comes right after they rejected one of the other latest counter proposals from Iran to end the war. The Trump administration said this is totally unacceptable and accused Iran of retreating from earlier understandings about uranium enrichment. So this thing's not stopping. We're 11 weeks in. Iran starts to seize ships from the UAE coast. Guys, this happened literally 3 days ago. A few commercial ships from the United Arab Emirates was seized by Iranian forces that were heading towards Iran. And then there was another drone strike in the UAE from Iran. also on a nuclear plant. So I don't see this thing slowing down. Oil spiked back up to over $110. This caused yields to rise. This caused inflation to rise. And this caused a broader market sell-off, but we'll get into the details about the market when we cover stocks and crypto. But I just want to let you guys know what's going on. There is no sight or there's no ending near in sight. So the drone strike was labeled as an unprovoked terrorist attack, guys. That's literally what they labeled it as. So all we see is conflicts escalating versus de-escalating, and that's all that we've been told. Before this administration took office, they told us that they were going to avoid all conflict, and that's not what is happening. And I still want to know what the F happened to the Venezuelan oil. We got all this oil from Venezuela. Where'd it go? The whole point of doing that was, cheap gas prices. I'm paying a fortune.
It's higher than ever right now. I hear mixed things, right? I hear that the Venezuelan oil is too crude and we don't have the machinery to refine it. I hear a bunch of corporate stuff with Exxon and the other big oil companies having a battle over it, or some kind of internal affair over how they're going to extract oil from there. And then, I hear other things, but like those are kind of like there's like some logistical thing about it that's just like
telling me that they can't clean the oil sounds like baloney.
I know. It's like,
have you seen what Claude can do?
Yeah, like Claude just replaced.
He laughed.
half the jobs in the world, and we can't clean oil. What's going on here? You know what I'm saying? And to top it all off, Arthur, who saw Trump go to China this past week?
Yeah, first visit since 2017. And, Xi Jinping also said that Iran needs to open the strait.
Well, let me emphasize on that just a little bit.
I have a lot to talk about this topic, especially when we get into Trump's trading, because
there's are you talking about the stuff that he had to disclose, like when he was passing legislation?
I'm talking about this guy's done more day trades than any professional day trader than I know.
3,600 to be exact, right?
Correct. 60 a day on average.
Yeah, I know you're. What?
Talk about a taco.
But yeah, anyways, guys, Trump went to China and had a meeting with Xi Jinping. He also brought all the top tech CEOs with him, including Elon Musk, Tim Cook, and some Qualcomm, Cisco, and other tech executives. But yeah, one of the main focuses was the Strait of Hormuz. China emphasized that the Strait of Hormuz shouldn't have any kind of military intervention whatsoever on both sides. Mm-hmm. And that they need to come to some kind of agreement. But they say that, and then shortly after, Trump's saying that these peace talks for the Strait are just on life support. So we don't really know what's going on there. There's a lot of hocus pocus going on. And then, aside from that, they're also talking about opening up trading more, right? NVIDIA got the green light to sell the H200 chips, which they were banned previously to do so. But now they could sell them. Also, China bought 200 Boeing jets, which is considered a win for us. But the caveat to this is Taiwan, right? Xi Jinping said directly to Trump that any mishandling of that situation would lead to bilateral ties into a highly perilous situation, meaning like a very harmful, risky situation, aka military intervention.
But did you also see, and I'm sure a lot of you guys saw the viral memes popping up, but Trump also brought 16 of the biggest tech CEOs. We're talking about Elon, we're talking Tim Cook, we're talking the CEO of NVIDIA, I always forget his name, shame on me, the CEOs of Cisco, of Qualcomm, and then we saw all those memes of them all sitting kind of at the same table. But this was a huge meeting of the biggest leaders of tech and AI and of the biggest companies in the world. And then that's when basically all these deals started to happen that Justin talked about. But And again, I'll get into this more when we talk about the stock stuff, but Trump is literally talking to Xi Jinping, telling, hey, we should approve this stuff if you agree and take my side about the Iran situation. So he greenlit those chips being sold to China if China basically takes sides of America. But in the meantime, there's a 113-page disclosure that says not only does Trump own a crap ton of NVIDIA, he tripled his trading volume the month before he started the war, guys. Mm-hmm. And that this China trip is literally just another huge trading scandal. That's all basically war. That is basically shown to the public as war, but it's all trading opportunities for the elite. And I can't wait to get into this even more, man.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, do I have so much juice for the stock section.
You gotta definitely break it down a little bit. But yeah, I also, and at the same time, right, like China, Iran is China's ally, and like at the same time they're talking about these peace things. It's so crazy to me. China is like heavily facilitating Iran with a bunch of air defense weaponry, this and that weaponry. So
is Russia.
Yeah. And just there's just like, I don't know, someone's getting played for a fool in this situation, in my opinion.
I just think that everything we see on surface level needs to be taken for a great grain of salt, and no one should believe the first thing they read, and everyone needs to really investigate. And guys, what do we always talk about in trading? Don't follow the news, follow the money, because the chart will never freaking lie to you. Right? How many times back when I was posting on social media quite a bit, I would talk about follow the money, right? We talked about this with the crypto mining stocks that were booming. I said, guys, what's the biggest crypto mining stock right now? You guys said Mara, you guys said Riot. I said, nope, it's going to be Hut. Why? Because Hut just bought 70% of this company, and American Bitcoin bought 70% of Hut. American Bitcoin is owned by the Trump family. And what do you know? The biggest mining performer by years was Hut. You bought it at $8 or $9. The thing is over $100 right now. Anything this guy touches, he's going to make money. So back to the point is follow the money, see what these politicians are trading, because that will give you a sense of direction on why all this shit is happening in the market. Mm-hmm. And all of Trump's trade history literally says why all of this is happening. It's literally all in the money, follow the money. Holy shit. I don't know why this is pissing me off so much, but I'm getting pissed off. Oh, this is also random. You know what? I'm pissed off because I just had a big ass tax bill and I'm pissed off. Did you see that there was a like Navy fighter show show?
Yeah,
and then the two jets crashed into each other. Cool, thanks. Who cares about your fucking jets spinning? You just burned $200 million of taxpayer money.
Yeah, well, dude, that was crazy. That was crazy.
No one died. So
yeah, I know no one died.
I'm gonna talk my shit.
Yeah, no, talk your shit, but like, damn, like. Yeah, guys, if you don't know what Arthur's talking about, there was an air show a couple days ago where two fighter jets literally collided. Not collided like this, but they were like doing like an aerial maneuver, and then they got stuck. The jets literally got like clanked onto each other, right? And then they started spinning out of control. All the pilots ejected, and like Arthur said, there goes a few $200 million. Just dude, we've been having a lot of planes crash and shot down lately. You know, those things are not cheap, but I don't know, it's all happening way too common.
I just want my money back.
You think people are just like being overworked right now, just on the fritz? I'm on the fritz, dude. Even Claude's being overworked in a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, think about it. Like remember all those like air traffic control collisions?
Yeah.
The plane that landed and literally disintegrated a fighter jet. I mean, not a fire truck.
Yeah. On
the runway, and then then a military helicopter smashing into that commercial airplane killed everybody. Mm-hmm. Like, bro, what is going on?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. You know, I'm gonna tell you. I'm pointing it to the government shutdowns where these. I almost cursed. I'm sorry. but where these politicians can't come to an agreement on how they're going to fund the government on security matters. Like, you guys are having a disagreement on how to keep your country safe. I mentioned this before, right? So you know what? You know who's mainly affected by that? Air traffic controllers. So when you have, like when you're running on a skeleton crew of air traffic controllers that are overworked, mistakes are going to happen.
Unbelievable.
Talk about the CPI data.
I want a tax refund, dude. Oh, man. Good news is I think I am going to get some money back for 2021, 2022, and 2023 because of the penalty bull crap. So, yeah, guys, what do we talk about was going to happen if oil stays up? Of course, the price of everything goes up. So, just as Mr. J. Powell finally got some inflation to go down in the last 2 years, guess what, boys and girls? We are right back to the highest we've ever been since 2023. So CPI inflation came in at 3.8%. And here's one of the biggest numbers that jumped up in there: the cost of living. So cost of living was the biggest increase out of the entire CPI index. And CPI covers everything, guys. We're talking about groceries, rent, power, oil, energy, fertilizer, the price of cocoa beans. Literally everything is covered under CPI. So you know what Trump's proposal was to help the American citizens is they said that they were going to suspend the federal gas tax, guys. You know what suspending the federal tax for gas does for the average U.S. citizen or for any U.S. citizen?
What does it do? Tell me, enlighten me.
It helps you save 18 cents a gallon. 18 cents a gallon.
So what does that mean?
It means
like
nothing.
At the end of the year, you got to file, you got to write off your gas?
No, it just means that they're going to suspend the gas tax so you don't pay tax for gas at the pumps. But the federal gas tax is 18 cents a gallon. So what are you saving? $3 at the pump? $4 at the pump max?
Yeah.
What happened to no income tax or no tax on tips?
I don't know, we just got bamboozled, bro. Honestly,
can we just, like, we can cut out 90% of the IRS staff. We could reduce taxes to 10%, make it a flat tax. Everyone pays 10%. The system would be golden.
Honestly, RIP to my homies and my dogs, Jerome Powell and Gary Gensler. I wish they were back, to be honest. They were literally trying to protect us.
Dude, I like Jerome Powell.
Dude, in hindsight, Gary Gensler was protecting us.
No, Gary Gensler's
he was protecting us.
Kind of a POS.
Yeah.
But I like Jerome Powell, man. I have Pokemon card memes of Jerome Powell, like where his power is like fuck your puts and it does like 120 damage. It's crazy. It's crazy strong card.
Gary Gensler ran a tight ship and didn't make sure any bullshit happened under his radar. I'm gonna say it like that.
It is a SIR card, man.
Even though he was anti-crypto, but that's only because he was exiled out of the community.
Yep. And then, guys, the treasury yields, which are the yields on bonds, guys. So every time the yield on bonds go up, stocks usually go down. And right now we just printed the highest 30-year rate at 5%. So something's going to break soon. Something's going to snap soon. This is kind of the entire chain reaction that we've been monitoring now for 11 weeks. War, oil spike, gas prices, inflation, higher treasury yields, higher borrowing costs, pressure on stocks and the housing. And then, okay, the strait's going to open up. All that stuff slowly calms down. The market goes back up. Oh, guys, conflict is nowhere near solved. The same chain. More war, oil spikes, gas prices go up, inflation goes up, higher treasury yields, higher borrowing costs, and then the pressure on the stock market and the housing market. So suspending 18 cents when gas has gone up $1.50 on average per gallon, Not helping anybody, pal. Not helping anybody.
Mind you, we are facing the biggest housing gap in history right now, meaning there's more sellers than buyers, and the margin is insane. I think it's like 60% or something like that, or something crazy. It's guys, what I'm saying is there's like a lot more sellers than there's buyers by like a huge margin, which is pretty bad. So I mean, we'll see something. We'll see something shake. I personally think. Did you want to say something?
No. I'm just gonna go into the next topic.
Okay. Yeah, guys. In other news, if you don't know, the Trump family, they were basically suing themselves in the IRS.
They were suing. Yeah.
But in a $10 billion lawsuit with the IRS because they quote unquote leaked their tax filings, right? Well, not leaked, it's public information, but their argument is that it was being weaponized against them.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, under the Trump administration, they're dropping that lawsuit, but something came out of it. In exchange, the DOJ is creating a 1.7 to 1.8 billion anti-weaponizing fund, or Truth and Justice Commission, to compensate individuals claiming unfair targeting by the prior administration. Meaning they're going to compensate people that were targeted by the Biden administration.
So Trump was targeted by the... What the... Dude, yeah. I'm so pissed, bro. We got bamboozled to the highest degree. They showed us the Avengers and they gave us Thanos, and not in a good way. Mm-hmm. I'm fucking pissed, dude.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Hey, guys, we're going to drop the lawsuit, but we're going to create a fund that's going to pay the people that were involved in the lawsuit that we were suing. Guess what? We were the only people that were involved. So we're going to get that money.
I mean...
So they basically settled, hey, instead of $10 billion, give us 1.7 to 1.8 is how I see it.
I mean, people are saying what you just said just right now. They're criticizing it. They're calling it a slush fund.
Yep.
And there's definitely ethical concerns because of who the administration is now.
That's like when a meme coin launches and they say that they're gonna put 20% of the allocation aside for marketing, but they're the fucking marketing team, so they pay themselves.
Yeah, it's a bunch of hocus pocus. And then another big law. This was okay. There was two major lawsuits that happened that are going on and were going on, and they both came to a close finally. Another one was Elon Musk versus Sam Altman. Guys, Sam Altman, founder of OpenAI. Well, one of the founders, Elon, if you guys didn't know, is actually an original founder of OpenAI. Mm-hmm. He invested in OpenAI very early on when they were a nonprofit. And then later on down the road, OpenAI turned into a for-profit organization. Now, Elon was suing them for turning into a for-profit and kind of losing their initial mission or their initial focus.
Right, because it went from open source to closed source.
Exactly. It was open source at first. Their main focus was artificial general intelligence for the greater good for humanity, and for it to be open source and for it to not be weaponized or, to be threatening to humankind. And that's what an open source nonprofit thing usually is for, because there's not one separate entity really controlling it, right? So that was Musk's concern, and honestly, he lost this lawsuit. And it was due to statute of limitations. They were saying if he didn't wait so long to bring this to trial or to advance onto or take action, he probably would have won it. But this was strictly because of, statute of limitations. So, OpenAI will remain a for-profit organization.
Yeah, did you see how Musk called himself a fool for investing into them? Mm-hmm. It's like, I'm an idiot for doing
a lot of people think, is this is this competitive tactics, or is this really, if he really believes in that, it could be a little bit mix of both, because you guys got to understand, right? Obviously Elon owns XAI, or, founder of XAI, and XAI is Grok, and OpenAI is ChatGPT, And you got to ask yourself, which one do you like better? I use both. I use Grok and ChatGPT. Now, do I think, as much as I think I could give a good opinion on Grok, and I think I could give a good opinion on ChatGPT, on a user that's been using the free version for a while. Now, I don't know about like the max out versions on these and what their capabilities are, like Grok Heavy and then, super duper Chat GPT, Super AI, or whatever.
You haven't tried max effort on Claude?
But
if you guys don't know the secret hack to Claude, if you install Claude in your terminal and go into the terminal Claude and you go to CLI, not only does it not hallucinate because it doesn't condense the chat, which means it doesn't spit out wrong information. But if you hit /effort, it gives you a nice little hack where you can actually change the effort to max effort, and it does shit way crazier. And then you can hit / and do a command called Ultra Review, and that's where Claude hires 5 agents that Claude is built to verify all your shit and make sure it's secure. It tries to break your shit. It tries to attack your shit. It's awesome.
I'm surprised you don't have a referral link for Claude.
I'm surprised they haven't hired me yet.
You could literally get paid shilling of Claude link.
Well, put me on, dude.
You just go in your dash. It's right there.
Oh.
Why do you think these guys make all these AI videos that you send me? Dude, every single video you send me is a referral video to get on their link.
Yeah, it's like type in flow to get my Claude flow and
or the link attached. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. It's all referral based. They're just trying to get signups on their link. They get paid for that because if those people get a subscription, they get paid for it. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I got to be honest here. I think ChatGPT does better research, but and it has better memory. Meaning, like, for example, right? If I'm like trying to find out news and I need accuracy and I need grave detail and I need this and that, ChatGPT is more consistent with it. Grok cuts corners sometimes, but Grok also doesn't fabricate anything. ChatGPT will fabricate it a lot because it's assuming that you want it to make it catchy.
Yeah, it's
right.
Annoying.
So they'll bend the truth a little bit.
Yeah.
Grok doesn't.
Yeah.
Grok either gives you good detail or it just sucks.
Yeah. Claude will hallucinate where it starts to just spit out wrong stuff because if you guys are using Claude, not to get off topic, but if you're using Claude in just a normal chat, you guys are doing it wrong because if you'll notice if you keep feeding the chat pictures, screenshots, content, it starts to compress the chat. 1, you can only get to a certain limit of uploads. 2, once you start giving it too much history in one chat, it will compress the chat and it'll lose some of the history that it's built on. But if you go to Claude Projects, it doesn't do that because it saves the files to your actual computer. And then if you go to Claude in your terminal, the CLI mode, it's by far the best mode possible. Doesn't hallucinate ever, doesn't lose any memory, and you can bring up past projects perfectly. It works way better. The downside is it is way more techie. You are in the terminal the whole time versus the nice UX UI, but damn, does it perform like a beast. Sign up to my Claude link below and I'll give you guys the full course on how to really use it.
You guys want to know something funny? Like Arthur gets really excited when he's Claude coding, when he's vibe coding. And like he'll update us right when he completes something, and he'll like give us a full breakdown of how he did it. Oh, I did this with the XY, the X terminal with the and I replaced the back end system with it.
So, dude, unless you're building multiple databases that are protected by JWT tokens that refresh every 24 hours on an HMAX system, I don't even want to talk to you because your security clearance is way too low for me, bro. I don't even want to hear it.
Wow.
What do you know about that, bro?
Wow.
I'm talking SHA-256 encryption, bro.
Wow. You guys hear that? You guys
full
hear him
tech
spitting?
stack, whatever.
Talk that shit. You hear that?
Oh, man. Yo, let's get into this Moss stuff. And I got a lot to cover in stocks. And we're already way past halfway.
We're way behind. I'll be quick on it. I mean, guys, something very sad happened today. A mass shooting at a mosque in San Diego, leaving 3 dead. The 2 suspects shot themselves. Yeah, I mean, you saw it on the news today. There's not really much to go over. It's still fresh, still brand new. But they were teenagers. They were ages 17 and 19. And as soon as they shot one security guard, one of the mosque's security guard, and 2 of the staff members, they drove off and then shortly after shot themselves in their car. I watched the footage, dude, and they were showing it on the news, like the helicopter flying over, like filming the area scene. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you see bodies. Thank God no children were not saying what happened wasn't terrible. Thank God no children were injured or killed. But yeah, not cool, dude. Not cool. Regardless of what religion you are, I should never strike a place of worship. I never condone that ever. And I think it's a sickening and despicable act. Anyways, let's get into stocks, man.
Oh, man. Crack my nuts for this one. So,
here we go.
Guys, we all know what a taco is, right? It's a Trump artificially created opportunity. And I didn't know how sickening this got until I did the research.
Dude, I read something about this today, but not to this extent. So break it down for me.
Guys,
let me know.
This is by far the biggest story of the week, if not the biggest story of the year, and just goes to show that all of these politicians that make 90, 100K salaries and then leave office with 15, 18, $20 million net worths, it's because of shit like this.
Before you dive into it, guys, what Arthur's about to explain right now, I know you've seen the Nancy Pelosi's, all the Congress people, where their stock portfolios have grown 60+% over the years because since they're getting in the office. That's just scratching the surface. That's barely scratching the surface. Break it down, Art.
So guys, this week, what I was saying was a 113-page financial disclosure was released that our president, Mr. Donald J. Trump, did 3,642 stock trades since getting into office, guys. That is an average of 60 trades per trading day. You guys are all traders in here. That is insane, bro.
Dude, I could barely do
60 trades a day on average. What are we doing here? So let's break this down, guys. This is, not even since he was put into office, because that would have been in November. This is since the start of the year. He's done 3,642 trades. He is trading Blastrat for sure. So, guys, that's 60 days on total, and the amount in the dollar value amount is so drastic that they still don't have the exact numbers, but the range is from $220 million to $750 million, guys. And just so we know, every president is involved in the market, but they've all put their money into like blind trusts, into treasury bonds, and then Biden even, which I hate this guy still, but Biden used like a blind trust. So basically any decision that they made about the world had virtually no impact on their portfolios, because their portfolios were pretty much the market standard portfolios that anybody would really have anyway. So, we know that Trump's sons run all of his assets, Don Jr., Eric, all of them, right? Whether it be stocks and crypto. And we talked about the Trump deal, how that entire crypto and stock mining deal was done in the Trump Tower investment office. And that's why we were super invested into into HUT, right? So Don Jr. handles all of the stock side stuff. Eric Trump handles all of the stuff for crypto. So let's go over the worst trades in terms of like public perception, and I'm very curious to what your guys' thoughts are on like all this. So the month before he launched the war, his trading volume tripled. So I want to break down the biggest trades and why they look bad, and basically you guys can have your own opinion. So let's talk about the worst one possible, the Dell play, guys. So Trump bought about $1 to $5 million worth of Dell stock. For some reason, when they give us these numbers, they have these broad ranges. I'm not sure if they're not allowed to tell us the exact numbers or something.
It's a big range.
But I know, right? And so is 220 million to 750 million. But anyway, so Trump bought $1 to $5 million worth of Dell stock on February 10th, guys. And then on May 8th, less than a month later, he publicly praised Dell at a White House event and pretty much told every American citizen that they should buy Dell. And Dell has surged 96% since, bro. In 30 days, the stock has surged 96%. So he owned a ton of this stock before he made that recommendation at a White House event to the American public. I'll let you form your own opinion on that. Let's talk about the NVIDIA China play that Justin briefly went over and the chips, okay? So again, one of Trump's account bought $500,000 to $1 million of NVIDIA stock on January 6th, okay? And then his own Commerce Department approved the sales of the H200 AI chips to not one, not two, but 10 Chinese tech companies. So what did he do? He bought the stock, and then he approved the deals that would make the stock go up like crazy because it was China that was restricted on buying the H200 chips. So when China just got the green light to buy those chips, they're buying them in insane amounts. So bought a ton of NVIDIA, passed the legislation to drive more sales. Let's talk about Intel.
Okay.
In March, just the other month, Trump began accumulating a ton of shares in Intel in not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sales, in multiple purchases. His first buy was on March 2nd. Guys, that's literally only 2 months ago, guys. Since then, the stock has surged 150%. And guess what? Did you guys know that the US government actually owns 10% of Intel? So one of the biggest owners of Intel is the government, and now the government is pumping Intel. I want my tax refund, or I want to be able to insider trade and not get in trouble. This is bullshit. Let me continue. So like I said, trading volume tripled before the war. March alone, this guy did 1,300 transactions, dude. Holy shit. And guess what, guys? Out of all those transactions, 980 of them were buys. That means he's still bullish as hell on stuff. He only did 336 sales. That means he's still buying stuff that he knows that is going to be pumped by the government and by his administration. Now, oh my God, here's where it just keeps getting crazier. I just can't stop it. I can't stop.
Hold a pause.
What's up?
We're going to collapse. Sorry, go on.
We are. So, you guys know that Coinbase is basically like the official, what's the word for it, Justin? Because Coinbase is basically holding all the government crypto reserves.
The official exchange of America for crypto. Say it like that.
Okay, got it. So, what did Trump buy a shit ton of? Coinbase, of course. Bought a ton of SoFi. But then he bought a ton of Robinhood. Why would this guy buy Robinhood? Well, what do you know, guys? As of April 6th, 12 days ago, Robinhood is officially tapped as the brokerage for all Trump accounts partnered with BNY. That means Coinbase is doing all of the crypto transactions for the government and for Trump. That's why Coinbase has been surging 20, 30 goddamn %. Now Robinhood is doing all of the stocks for Trump, and that's why Robinhood is surging. Follow the money, follow the money. If you can't beat him, join him, right? So Trump bought Coinbase, he bought Robinhood, he bought SoFi Bank, And it's his administration that is making the executive orders to make sure that these companies perform well. Because whatever he says, whatever the administration passes, will really determine the fate of these companies, because this is how they make their revenue. So if you approve AI chip sales, your AI investments are going to go up. If you say this company is going to do all of my crypto, that company is going to go up. If you say this company is going to do all of my stocks, that company is going to go up. But when you start to buy major positions in all of these things, and then you do that, that is by definition insider trading. You're literally acting on inside information. What the fuck are we doing here?
Information that you control.
But American citizens can't buy fucking milk and eggs, bro. I'm fucking pissed. It's fucking annoying. Fuck. God damn. Fuck. All right, I'm done. Saying, guys, massive trades, and then all these banks that he's buying too, they're all pumping too because of all the regulation that they're doing. Man, it is crazy what's going on right now, bro. It is crazy what is going on, and then the defense of the White House is there is no conflict of interest. This is just like normal trading, right? He's buying these stocks. Okay, yeah, we get it. Everybody wants to buy Nvidia. Everybody wants to buy Intel. Everyone wants to buy. No, but when you're buying them at large amounts and literally a month or two later, you are passing legislation to make these things pump. It's literally what we all hated Nancy for. And she would say, this isn't allowed, this is not allowed, and then she would fly to China or fly to Taiwan and then approve this shit, and then her back's pumped, and then this fucking piece of shit said, oh, she's a terrible person, she's insider trading, she's this, she's that, and he's fucking doing the same thing. What the fuck are you doing here?
Unreal.
It's gonna be a lot of editing on those bleeps, but
I honestly, I'm at a loss for words, dude. Absolutely fucking bamboozled. Like, how the fuck do you wake up and look in the fucking mirror and do the same thing that you shit on other people for?
I'm sick, dude. There's one thing I hate is a fucking hypocrite. So, bottom line, you don't have to take a political side to this. You just got to lay out the facts. And all the facts are there. 3,000 trades in 3 months, 60 per day. No other president has ever done this many trades before. And then you're buying stuff and approving the regulation that will make these things go forward. This guy dumped $25 million into Microsoft, into Meta, into Amazon 18 days before the war launched. And I haven't even broken down why he bought into Amazon just yet. But there's some shit going on. Anyways, let's keep it pushing so we have enough time. Like I said, guys, the treasury yields are pumping crazy. They're up. They're up at 5.1% to 5.15%, the highest since 2007. Yields go up, stocks go down. It's always how it's been. Other cool things though happening in the stock market is Cerberus is one of the biggest IPOs to date since Meta, basically, guys. Meta and Uber, actually. It's an AI company, of course. They build chips based on the silicon architecture. They're basically designed specifically for AI and for large language models and being able to train them at faster speeds. So this thing IPO'd at $185, spiked up to $350 and closed around $290, and it hit $100 billion market cap in one day. Just to put that in perspective, the only other companies that have done that is Meta and Uber.
Ethereum.
And Ethereum? Yeah, but that's crypto. I'm just saying. But true. So guys, they raised over $5.5 billion, which is on par with Uber's IPO. Massive. And you guys remember Justin was teasing you guys about the SpaceX IPO. Well, SpaceX's perspective sheets. I'm saying that wrong. Prospectus sheets, which is basically like the sheet for all of the final details of the IPO. They're saying that it could land as soon as June 8th, guys, and then that SpaceX could be listed on NASDAQ as soon as June 12th. And they are already implementing a 5-to-1 stock split off rip already, because they're saying that the share price is going to be around $525. So if they do a 5-to-1 stock split, guys, you could be investors in SpaceX next month for about $100 to $105 a share. And what's crazy about this IPO, if it becomes successful, it will be the biggest, it'll be the largest IPO in human history, targeting a $1.75 trillion valuation right off the gate.
Why did this Cerebras IPO like fly right under my nose?
I have no idea why.
Did it fly under your, like,
completely?
I was like, what is even Cerebras?
Yeah. Basically, what they're saying is that their engine is not only faster than NVIDIA's, and it's also much cheaper to produce. It kind of sounds like a DeepSeek type. Basically, they're saying it's faster and it's cheaper. And dude, I believe it. I mean, I'm sure EVs aren't the best comparison, but the EVs in China are like 30 years ahead of us. It's insane what those cars do. My dad was just showing me this EV that you can literally lift up each tire by its own, and then you can drive on 3 tires.
Yeah, I saw that
the whole way through.
I saw that. Yeah, it's crazy. And they compared it to like the modern like luxury car. Yeah, I think they put it
so
up against
nice
a
inside
Maybach
too.
and stuff. Is Cerebras a Chinese tech company?
I don't know. You guys know? I don't know, actually.
They've got to be, because I don't know how they're going to be producing these many chips in the U.S. when, you know, NVIDIA's got a vice grip on that, and Elon trying to get into that too.
No, dude, it's good old Sunnyvale, California, dog.
Really? Interesting.
Looks like the 5 founders previously worked at C Micro and AMD.
Oh, damn.
Hey, big dogs. Let's go.
Wow. That's cool.
So, I'll let Justin get into the stock market after this. I'm into the crypto market after this. But one other thing to put on your guys' radar: NVIDIA. The earnings is May 20th after market close. The single largest asset in the marketplace, the biggest market cap stock out there, the single most important earnings of the quarter. Every single hyperscaler, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Amazon, all raised their AI spending budgets to a combined $725 billion, and most of that money flows through NVIDIA. So Wednesday night is the most important 30 minutes of this entire quarter, if not maybe this entire year, because everything will follow NVIDIA. If you guys remember what I said when I discussed earnings in deep detail about 3-4 weeks ago now, we said that sure, we'll get through all the Magnificent Seven. Probably won't be too crazy. But when NVIDIA comes in, NVIDIA will be the main event that really determines, because like I said, all these companies are so AI focused. We just talked about Trump going to China to approve chip sales in China. So NVIDIA is an absolute powerhouse. If the market sells off NVIDIA, it won't be a really good sign. But guys, so Wall Street is expecting NVIDIA to do about $78 billion in revenue. Some desk models, meaning just like some of the other big names like on Wall Street, when they give their analysis, are saying $70 to $80 billion. But a beat is already priced in. So Wall Street is already saying that NVIDIA is going to beat this earnings just like it beat every other earnings the last 3 quarters. Earnings per share is at $1.78, which is up 81 cents from a year ago, guys. That's insane. That's doubling your earnings per share. Massive. Data center revenue is up $73 billion. And that's where 90% of the businesses now for NVIDIA is in the data business. So out of 42 ratings from analysts, 40 of them said buy, 1 said hold, 1 said sell. 40 of them are saying still buy. But that's the analyst. So what number matters the most out of anything? It's not going to be revenue. It's not going to be EPS. It's not going to be beat. Not going to be any of that crap. The most important number, again, is going to be that CapEx. And then the other most important number is going to be basically what they're going to do with their chip structure, guys. That's going to be a big thing. And I think they might maybe surprise us in earnings, especially if there's this competition coming out from that other IPO. But basically, NVIDIA is going to be transitioning from Blackwell chip architecture to the next gen Vera Rubin platform. So NVIDIA has been on Blackwell for probably a good 5+ years, but now Blackwell is about to wind down and Vera Rubin is about to ramp up. So we're going to hear a lot of stuff about this, and this could be the thing that sets off another super cycle and lets the market live for another 1 to 2 years, or S&P hit 750 like the analysts are saying, and we have a terrible correction.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, we're already at 6 o'clock. We didn't even touch crypto yet, and I didn't even finish all of what I wanted to say about NVIDIA. I mean, the crypto news isn't that crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to glaze over the crypto news quick. We should do the crypto right now.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, I already covered most most important stuff.
I mean, but I'll just glaze. I'll not glaze. That's a crazy word, right?
I'm like glaze. What?
I'm just gonna gloss over crypto real quick. Just kind of just give you the meats and potatoes going on. You might be wondering, why did Bitcoin drop to $76,000 over the weekend? Why did it do that? What do you guys think?
Bonds yields oil spike.
Yeah, I mean, the bonds on the yields on the treasury bonds went up to like 5%. So, guys, when this happens, you might ask yourself, okay, well, what does this have to do with the Bitcoin price? Why does that affect the Bitcoin price? Well, on a asset that gives you yield, if the percentage gets higher, then that's a more favorable thing. So people will start putting money into yields.
Safer.
It's exactly safer. Whereas versus Bitcoin in a bear state right now, in a bear market that's not earning any yield, people will move money into that, and you just see the cycle.
Well, I'm sorry, bro. Well, not even the yield. It's because Bitcoin is like a volatile asset, just like stocks, whereas bonds are stable. So you guys will notice in like volatile markets, like the common rule of thumb, especially if you're younger, is like 80% stocks, 20% bonds if you're aggressive. When the market is kind of shaky, it's volatile, you'll go down to like 60, 70% stocks, 20, 30% bonds. And then what most financial advisors recommend, again, not me, most financial advisors, as you get older and older, because you have less time for your average to kind of average out, is that older citizens will go to a more bond heavy in investment portfolio because it's just safer and it's not really going through the ups and downs of the market.
Well, yeah, and Bitcoin being bearish, but yeah, it is safer and you're earning yield on it. But yeah, so that was the main reason why Bitcoin dipped so much over the weekend. So time to buy. But yeah, in other news, Clarity Act, guys, a major milestone in the Clarity Act. It passed the Senate Banking Committee on Thursday in a 15-9 bipartisan vote, marking a major step forward for the bill. So what's next? It's got to go to the Senate, right? It's got to go to the Senate, and then it needs 60 votes to pass. And then, the bill now heads to full Senate, where it needs 60 votes passed, roughly 6 Democratic crossovers. Then a House reconciliation with a version passed 294 to 134 in July 2025 would be next, ahead of Trump's signature. So after all that, Trump's going to sign off of it, and then the Clarity Act is put into place.
Well, the good news is we did pass the Senate Banking Committee, which is another step forward.
That was like
it's the last line.
That was where the big argument was.
Right.
Was where the banks and Coinbase and the other crypto companies were having arguments on yields and stable coins and shit like that. That was the big argument. Now it's like... Now
I'm thinking, he just needed to make a couple more investments in Coinbase and Robinhood first.
Something happening over there. So and then in other news, Coinbase makes a major deal with Hyperliquid. They make Hyperliquid, or Coinbase and Circle announced Thursday that Coinbase will serve as the official treasury deployer for USDC on Hyperliquid under a new framework called AQAV2. So Hyperliquid's going to see a ton more volume than it already has through that. But on the contrary, Wall Street's biggest exchanges are trying to hinder
Shut 'em down.
Hyperliquid, trying to take them out of, not take them out of business, but trying to hinder the growth, because what else can you do in Hyperliquid? You could trade commodities, you could trade tokenized pegged stocks or whatever, right? And they have huge, and those things are doing huge volume. I think their oil futures are at like $7+ billion in volume. It's something insane like that. So the Intercontinental Exchange,
dude, they're making like $2 million on $7 billion in volume and fees. Golly.
Yeah. Man, but yeah, I mean, so yeah, you have like the CME Group and ICE, which ICE is the company that owns the New York Stock Exchange, Intercontinental Exchange. They've been privately lobbying the CFTC and members of Congress to rein in Hyperliquid. So I mean, you got that going on. And then also, guys, on another security aspect, Kraken leaves layer 0 for Chainlink as Kelp DAO fallout continues. Guys, there is, like we talked about in the past, rippling effects with the Kelp DAO and that Aave exploit where they got drained for millions and millions of dollars. And it turns out there's a lot of flaws that are starting to unravel. So you're starting to see big exchanges like Kraken, which used layer 0 as kind of like a bridging system for all their crypto. If you don't know what layer 0 is, it's basically a bridge for all different types of networks in crypto to cross coins over to other networks. And it looks like layer 0 is just completely compromised, to be honest. So guys, if you have any money on any exchanges that are using the layer 0 protocol, I suggest you take your money off of there and not interact with those exchanges anymore. Because not only did this happen, but a handful of other DeFi protocols and exchanges have been drained as well, including yesterday, Thorchain for 11 million.
Oh man, I haven't heard of that chain in a bit.
Well, dude, that chain's mainly used for crime. Yeah. And then last but not least, Bitcoin Depot. Guys, if you don't know, Bitcoin Depot, one of the largest Bitcoin ATM operators, just filed for bankruptcy. The company says its current business model became unsustainable due to tougher state compliance rules, transaction limits, restrictions, bans, litigation, and regulatory enforcement. And it's basically put them out of business. Their whole network has been taken offline. So there's that. That's for crypto.
Cool.
And we went over.
Yeah. I don't know. I was just like daydreaming about meme coins again and like the old school meme coin. And then I just remembered, man, Pump Fund has ruined it forever.
Yeah, well, you know what? I bought Pump Fund in Pangu the other day.
Smart. All right, everyone. That's all we got.
That's all we got. Battle of the Bulls,
Battle
June
of the
6th.
Bulls. Guys,
6 p.m. or 7 p.m.
invite your friends. Get one person to RSVP. Don't be a hoe.
Share the
show.
Share the event.
Really have.
6 p.m., right?
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Since when is 7 p.m.?
Since
yeah, it's always been 7
it's
p.m.
June 6th,
right.
7 p.m.
Yeah. June 6th, 7 p.m. June 6th, 7 p.m.